Hello students, I given some more examples on the board which is based on the bond length. So we have to find out the bond length between the carbon and Cl. The first question is to find out bond length in the first question. Okay, so first of all you have to find out the single bond present or not. There is a single bond is there, pure single bond. So obviously the first option is the first, it will become first. But in the second option there is a conjugation is there, that single bond becomes to partially double bond will be formed. So here is a double bond will be formed between the carbon and chlorine. So after this rotation of negative charge and getting the same first structure. So finally we getting the resonating structure. How many is there here? 2. But is in this case, here is also we getting the resonating structures. But total resonating structures is getting the 5. So how many we getting the resonating structure in this case? We getting the 5 resonating structures. So I only written here is 2 resonating structures. Remaining resonating structure already we completed in the resonance topic. Okay, right. So I given only 2 resonating structures. Like this same structure we getting the remaining 3 structures also. So but in this case we know already single bond is which is to pure. There is a consist the bond length is very more. So obviously the first is the first. But here is the getting the partial double bond which is the present of single bond between the carbon and chlorine. Due to the resonance there is a formation of partial double bond. At the same time in the chlorobenzene also there is a formation of partial double bond. But in these 2 cases which one is consist long time, which one is consist long time partial double bond, where there is in the 2 options which one is having the long time partial double bond. That is the main reason. So that's consist bond length is very shorter. If there is the long time partial double bond is present, that's double bonds between the carbon and chlorine, there is the very shorter bond length. So very nice. So here is the carbon and chlorine, there is a partial double bond is forming. Partial double bond is there. It is the double bond present long time present. So here is a double bond which is partially is present between the carbon and chlorine, but it is not present long time. It will be to disappear within second due to the this negative electrons when comes to the back, and this partial double bond will be come to the chlorine side. The double bond electrons coming to the chlorine side, we getting like this structure. This double bond is not present a long time. It is a shorter time double bond. This is a longer time double bond. So which has longer time double bond, that will be consist the shorter bond length. Understood? Very simple. If there is double bond is present, there is a double bond is forming. First of all you have to remember these points. Single bond becomes to double bond. Single bond becomes to double bond by the resonance, due to resonance. So bond length will decrease. Here is a single bonds getting the double bonds 1, 2, 3. There is a number of single bonds getting the partial double bonds, but here is the only one single bond getting the partial double bond, that is very quickly. But here is a double bonds which is to present a partial double bond, that is not at a long time present. But here is a partial double bond which is present between the carbon and chlorine, that will be present on long time. So finally there is a single bonds becomes to double bond due to the resonance. If there is a more number of resonating structures, they will be to consist the bond length is very less. Understood? Right. So finally first is the first, then second, then third. Understood? Right. Come to this question. Here is a double bond is present between the carbon and oxygen. Your question is, so the bond length between the carbon and oxygen which has more. Now in this case there is a double bond is there. Now double bond becomes to single bond. So due to resonance, so there is number of resonating structures increases, automatically bond length also increases. The case is different. Double bond becomes to single bond. By the resonance, which has higher resonating structures. that will be consist the bond length is excess compared to the pure double bond. Okay, so this is a pure double bond. There is no resonance, no resonance. Pure double bond, pure double bond. So it has shorter bond between the carbon and oxygen, obviously. So your question is carbon oxygen bond length. This is a shorter. Due to there is no any resonance, there is no partial single bond is not present. But here in this case, here is a double bond is there. Come to the electron like this. Okay. So finally, it is a correct? No. So oxygen is more electronegativity. That's why come to the double bond electrons to oxygen side. Okay. So finally, here is the electrons come to the oxygen side. Then after double bond electron come to the single bond carbon side. So which is present? I give the one question. Here is a oxygen getting minus. At the same time, here is a carbon getting double bond, and here is this carbon getting double bond, and here is a carbon getting positive. Now your question. Here is a plus. Here is a double bond. Here is a minus. Now in this two resonating structures, which one single bond between the carbon and oxygen present long time? Very good. Obviously the second one present long time due to there is a resonance is increases from the back side to front side. So there is single bonding nature is increases. Yes or no? Single bonding nature increases. But here in the case, there is a moving of electrons very quickly. Come to the same structure of which is first. Okay. So finally, here is a double bond is there. But here is how many double bonds are there? 3 double bonds. But here in the case, we have getting the less resonating structures. But in this case, we have getting the more resonating structures. There is more resonating structure, but there is a double to single is formed. But in the above question, there is single bond becomes to double bond forming now. But in this case, double bond becomes to single bond, which is present between the carbon and oxygen. Understood? Double bond becomes to single bond due to the resonance. Bond length will be increases. So here is a carbon and oxygen pure double bond. That's why this is a shorter bond. So finally, third is more bond length between the carbon and oxygen due to that single bond will be present long time. That will be present long time single bond due to the resonance. Okay. So due to there is a conjugations is excess then compared to the second one. So finally third, then second, then first. Understood? Right. Come to the next question. This is a pure carbon nitrogen bond length we have to find out. So in the given question, which has highest bond length between the carbon and nitrogen. So very nice, beta. So your answer is right. The first is first. Right. Now here is a single bond becomes to double bond. Yes or no? This is the single bond actually between the carbon and nitrogen. Due to the resonance, there is a formation of partial double bond. Here is also single bond between the carbon and nitrogen. Due to the resonance, there is a formation of partial double bond. Here is also there is a partially double bond is formation. So we know that partial double bond which is present between the carbon and nitrogen at long time. So that is consists the shorter bond. In these three, obviously the third one is the pure double bond. It will be to comes the last only. So because of this is very shorter bond. Okay, because this is pure bond, pure double bond will be shorter bond. Okay, so we have to find out second and third. There is a partial double bond will be formed in the first, second, third and fourth, but there is a partial double bond will be present long time in which that obviously fourth one now. Here is a partial double bond form and comes the electrons are involved in the resonating structures. So that partial double bond will be present long time now, right? So this is the partial double bond which is present carbon and nitrogen. That is a shorter bond compared to the first and second. Sorry, second and third. First is the first long is over. This is a long bond length between the carbon and nitrogen. So then next one second, the next one third, the next one fourth, the next one fifth. Single bond due to double bond. Sorry, single bond becomes to double bond due to the resonance. Bond length decrease. Single bond becomes to double bond. When these electrons come to the downside, we have to form the double bond also, and here is the we have getting the 5 resonating structures. So that's why compared to the second, third and fourth one is the shorter bond between the carbon and nitrogen. Okay, and this shorter bond which is present carbon and nitrogen, that will be to present long time compared to the second one. There is a second one which is present shorter double bond, so that is partial double bond is not present at long time, that will be to changes into single bond. Okay, so due to the here is a excess of resonance, so there is a single bonds also, partially double bonds is increase, so double becomes to single, single becomes to double, there is a excess in there, that's why there is a okay, shorter bond between the carbon and nitrogen. Okay, come to the next question. Here is a pure double bond present, carbon and oxygen bond length we have to find out. Pure double bond. Okay, here is the electrons goes to the oxygen side, then after pi electrons come to the single bond carbon side. So here is a also same. Right, now here in this case, double bond becomes to single bond. Yes or no? Due to the resonance. So where in this two, the single bond will present long time. Obviously in the third one due to the resonance. So when this electron goes to the oxygen side, oxygen getting the single bond like this. Oxygen getting negative charge, and here is a double bond, here is a double bond. So then carbon getting the positive charge, then automatically there possible resonance. This is the single bond is longer than compared to the second one due to resonating structures. Okay, so there double bond becomes to single bond. डबल बॉन्ड जो है सिंगल बॉन्ड जैसे कन्वर्ट हो रहा है विद द रेजोनेंस का वजह से, तो बॉन्ड लेंथ भी इंक्रीज होता है. दिस इज द बॉन्ड लेंथ इज एक्सेस. हियर इज द ऑक्सीजन और डबल बॉन्ड present between the carbon. So this one is long bond. And next come to this question, the last question, that is the fifth one. Obviously the first one is first due to the carbon and nitrogen bond, single bond. Okay, and come to the here is a lone pair electrons are involved in the resonance, but here is a carbon and nitrogen bond, that is first single bond, then after conjugation there will be getting the partial double bond also. Here single bond becomes to double bond, single bond becomes to double bond. Okay, here is also single bond becomes to double bond. Here is also, here already double bond is present between the carbon and nitrogen, but here is a partial double bond will be formed, but that partial double bond that is to present a long time compared to the second one. Okay, due to here is a number of resonating structures will be formed, so there is a number of single bonds becomes to partial double bond will be formed in this question. Okay, there is a number of single bonds becomes to double bonds will be formed, so partial double bonds will be formed number of. So that's why that is third one is there is a between the carbon and nitrogen shorter bond then compared to the second one. So obviously there is a second, then after third, then after fourth. So this is the questions about the bond length in the given question. Okay, so keep it in mind, note down. Okay, write down. So ये है आपका क्वेश्चंस है, so ये क्वेश्चंस को आप नोट करके रख लीजिए. So I will give you some more example in the tomorrow class. Write down.